Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Rotten Bananas podcast. You're joined by your host, Imran.
And Sonam.
And today we're joined by the lovely Sush, all the way from Ontario. So exciting.
Hello.
So, Sush, thank you so much for coming on. Why don't you kind of introduce yourself a little bit and, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Sush. I live in Ontario. I'm not a big city person, so I'm actually really further away from Toronto. But I absolutely love it. I love like the slowness of where I live, the nature of where I live. I appreciate it a lot. In my free time, I guess I practice yoga, meditation. I love to read. But I'm like a recent reader. Like I'm not like someone who's been
Nice.
in childhood. Like I just started getting into it. So if you have any recommendations.
For sure.
And I also have a branding business as well. So I'm a brand strategist. I support business owners and entrepreneurs on their creative journey, helping them just find the confidence in telling their story, whether it is on social media or through their logo or website. So that's what I do for work. Beyond that, I am also a daughter, the eldest daughter in an immigrant family.
Oh, nice.
That's a lot.
Yeah, of course. A big part of my personality.
Big hat to wear.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
biggest sometimes,
The biggest.
right?
Definitely. I'm a very, very proud older sister as well. I have a younger brother, who's like my best friend. And yeah, that's a little bit about me, but we can definitely like get into questions and then we can kind of uncover more things. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. You seem to wear a lot of hats. You're a business owner, you're an older sister, you're the eldest daughter, so it seems like you always have a lot going on when it's beautiful, yeah.
And you can totally tell how your energy kind of like connects to all these different aspects of your life. Because you really have that calming, that like, that vibe.
So you have such a calming vibe, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So we usually love to start our episodes with a little icebreaker just to get to know each other a little bit more. So today our question icebreaker is who or like what was your first crush experience? So do you want to go first, Ish?
Yeah, my first crush, I don't know what grade this was, but I grew up in India. So I was in India until 2011. So the first 11 years of my life, I was there, and then I moved to Canada. So my first crush was actually in India. I don't know what grade, maybe like first grade.
Yeah.
Cute.
And it was this boy that I like really liked. He sat right in front of me, and I would always copy off of him. And I think he caught on that I copied him. So one time he actually like wrote down all the wrong answers, let me copy, and then changed them. So I ended up getting a 0. Yeah. And I was like, wow, okay, it's like this, huh? And then I think we were friends for a little bit. And in India, when there's like Rakhi, I don't know if you guys celebrate Rakhi.
Yeah.
Rakhi, yeah. You would just like bring Rakhi to school and you like tie it to your friends. And I ended up tying a Rakhi to him.
Oh gosh.
It didn't go anywhere, but yeah, it's a fun, cute little moment that we had.
Oh, I love that. That's such a sweet story. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Yeah, Imran, you want to go?
Yeah, so my first crush was it was in preschool, and he was actually also my friend, but we would just like our moms were trying to make it happen. His name was Kabir, actually, and he literally we would have play dates and stuff, and then like during recess or like the times we would hang out, we would literally just we would be sitting together, and I'd have like my head on his shoulder, like it was so cute. And then I don't know, I guess not me, our moms lost contact, and we didn't go to the same elementary school, so I never saw him again after preschool, but he was really cute, and maybe he's probably somewhere in the world. So
you guys had a real thing
going
on.
We had a connection. It was real. I know it was real.
She's been a lover girl from the start.
The lover girl era was always there.
Oh, that's so cute. It's so funny to think where are these people now?
Right?
That's so interesting.
No.
You're my crush, babe. Where'd you go?
Yeah. You're my original crush. Yeah. Excuse me.
Why are you not looking me up online? Why have you not heard from you?
I'm checking my email every day.
Literally, why am I doing all this work? Babe, where are you? Get in my DMs now.
Love that story. Thanks for sharing that, Imran.
What about you?
I think mine was around like the same kind of vibe as your guys's. Like in school, maybe I was in grade 3 or 4, and there was this little white boy in our class. I remember he was like my friend too.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, because like I thought we were actually friends. So I was
Yeah.
like, damn, like one time he called me his best friend, and I was like, oh my god, like I love you. Like we can't be friends. Like what are you talking about?
Oh my god.
But he was really good at drawing, and
Yeah.
I remember just being like so obsessed with him, and everybody had a crush on him. But I was just like, "Are we best friends?"
So I'm
and
like,
crush?
we're
Like,
the one.
what's-
I'm the
what's
one.
going on?
Yeah.
But of course, nothing ever happened.
Well, he moved away, didn't he?
He moved away, yeah. And one
That's
time we
all the
talked on
girls.
MSN after that, but
Ooh.
that was honestly really special to me. Yeah.
That's so funny. It's funny
Love
how
that.
like, you know, when we're kids, we have such innocent young love.
Yeah.
You know, like we just are thinking of everything so much, like about these things, and now it's like, you know, okay, I still believe in love, but now it's like I want to be practical as well.
There's so much more.
Like, yeah, there's so much more than just like these cute moments, right?
That's so true.
It's
But,
not
like,
like a movie.
Yeah, it's not like the movies at all. What it's supposed to be.
Literally.
But just like even having a crush now, it's like sometimes I'm like I have to be practical about who I have a crush on. Even what the
Yes.
fuck? Like I just want to have an innocent crush. Like, but when we're kids, it's like you can have a crush on every boy in the class. You know,
That's
it's
so
just
true.
like simple daydreaming all day.
Mm.
You know, now you don't have time to do that. You
Life
just gotta
goes
think about
too
work.
quick.
Yeah,
No, that's so true.
but that was fun. That was like a fun icebreaker.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for that, Sush.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we of course want to get into more about you and like get to know you more. And we know a little bit about your business as a brand strategist and brand manager, but we also know that you recently came back from a trip, like a mindfulness retreat. And we were wondering, can you tell us a bit about that? Like, how was that for you? What was the experience like? We know that's a big aspect of like your personality and your interests. So yeah, can you tell us about that a bit?
Well, first of all, it was a course. So
Okay.
I didn't know that. I was telling
Oh.
everybody, oh, it's a retreat. Like, I'm gonna be like learning this new technique. And I get there. And the thing with me is like, I always, because I do a lot of things solo, I love just like going and just trying different things solo.
Yeah.
Love
And
that.
I'm gonna like bring other people from my life and like take my friends or my family if they do turn out like fun. So I, on a whim, signed up for this course. And I thought it would be like what you see on social media. And when I was telling other people, they were also asking me, oh, so which country are you going to? Like, are you going to Mexico? And I was like, no, like it's like 45 minutes from me. Like, I don't think it's anything like
Yeah.
that extravagant. But regardless, I thought it would still be like a glamorized experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that
I guess-
wellness kind of.
Exactly. And I get there, and my parents were actually traveling at the time, so I was like, hey, like, would it be okay? Because you're not allowed to have your phones, which I already knew. So I'm like, I know I'm not gonna have my phone for the next 10 days. Would it be okay if like my partner can just call in and let you guys know that like my parents have landed safely, and you could just let me know? And the guy at the front was like, you won't be talking for 10 days, so we can't tell you anything. And I was
What?
like, no way. Like, no way. This is like entering the parking lot. I'm like, we can turn the car around. Like, it's okay.
OMG.
I'm not
Like, what the fudge?
Literally.
The silent course. It was the
It's
silence thing.
Wow.
But you didn't think it was gonna be like that.
No.
Oh my god, that's
Wow.
such a weird feeling.
Yeah. I started crying because I was like,
Uh,
I signed up for this thing. I've been looking forward to this thing for like
Yeah.
last 2 months. And how stupid of me to like not read up on it. But I also didn't want to set expectations. That's why I didn't do that, right?
Yeah.
So there's a reason why I didn't do my research, but
which is definitely good sometimes as well.
Yeah.
A full
Exactly,
open
'cause
mind.
especially with like things like anything that's involving spirituality, I feel like everyone always wants to share their experience, but with spirituality, like your experience is your experience, right?
Yeah.
If you go based off of other people's experience, you're almost like telling yourself that that's how it's gonna go, but it's not really gonna go like that. That's the same thing with traveling that I personally believe as well. Like, go here, like it was so fun, and then like it's not a vibe for you.
Yeah.
You have to experience it for yourself. But anyways, I'm like turned the car around. Like if I knew if that like there was no talking, I would be yapping for the last 2 weeks. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
My boyfriend's like, it's okay, you'll be fine. Like, all good. If anything, like, you can always come back home. You can always leave and just like come home tomorrow.
100%.
Sure.
See how it goes.
Yeah. So first 3 days were hard because no talking, waking up at 4 in the morning, and
Ah.
yeah, and it was really cold, and I hadn't packed for like cold because it was
Mhm.
OMG.
June, and it was so cold. But like they actually like they let us borrow clothes. They had extra clothes, which was really nice of
Oh,
them.
nice.
Okay, that's
Were you
nice.
like in the forest, like deep in the woods type of vibe?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. It
And
was
who?
really nice.
What was the demographic of the other people there?
Mm.
Because it's near Toronto, and they actually said that too. They brought it up like because it's Toronto, it's the most diverse in the world. So
Wow.
it's like people from different age groups, different
Okay.
cultures, and it was so cool to see like people who have done this like multiple times. Like someone was doing it for their ninth time.
Wow.
Someone did it
Whoa.
their first time. Someone said, my brother did it in Nepal and I wanted to try it as well, so I'm trying it here. Someone said that they actually travel around, like they've done one in Bali and they've done one in Dubai, and for the
Oh.
first time they're doing one in Canada. So that's how they're traveling
Ah.
and experiencing the world. So it's really cool just like learning from other people and their experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the first 3 days were so tough. I was like, no way. Like I can't go on my phone. My like brain was going crazy. Like it's
Mm.
just playing music, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
stop.
goodness.
Can it stop? Because we have
Yeah.
a supervisor that we can go and talk to, a teacher we could go and talk to, and that's the only person you're like allowed to talk to in a way.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I'd go and ask her. I'm like, is it okay that I keep like hearing music even though like nothing is playing? She's like, yeah, your
Whoa.
brain's just on one. Like it's just
Whoa. Well, it's
Wow.
because you know what? Our brains are always stimulated so much. Like it
Uh-huh.
craves that like dopamine of the of music, of like,
Mm.
social media, all these things. So like I can't even imagine without having my phone to hold. Like you sometimes just need to
Yeah.
hold it. You
yeah.
Yeah.
know?
Seriously.
I'd actually
That's a
feel my
big
phone
adjustment.
buzzing. I'd feel my phone buzzing, and I'm like, I don't have my phone.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Touch my pocket, and I'm like, wait, I don't have my phone on me. Like, what is this
Dude, that's a
feeling?
That's
trip.
so trippy. And
Yeah,
there's
The
obviously
power of the
nothing,
brain.
right? There's no like TVs or anything
Ah,
there.
yeah.
Like
nothing,
no electronic things.
nothing. I
Wow.
think, and there's only 2 meals a day. So you eat at 6 in the morning, and then you eat at 11 in the morning, and then you eat like a fruit
Whoa.
at 5 p.m. So after the first day, the only thing I could focus on was my body because I was like, okay, when am I hungry? And then as soon as you get hungry, you have to almost teach yourself, like, okay, just get
Mm.
through this meditation and then go for a walk. And then you come back and you do another meditation. And then by then it's lunchtime. So it's like, that's all I could focus on. And it really
Whoa.
helped. It really helped because then I wasn't
Interesting.
hungry. Yeah.
Ah.
So all day it's essentially just meditating, really?
Yeah, so we learned a technique. We the first 4 days we learned a technique to just be able to sit longer and just be able to calm down.
Yeah.
And then the last like 6 days we learned the actual technique and how to kind of just learn tolerance in a way,
Mhm.
and it's you learn tolerance on a bodily level, but then like when I came back to the real world I realized like I actually learned tolerance in so many other ways. Like I don't get as angry anymore. I'm
Mhm.
not as like short fused. Like even
Oh.
driving I notice it, even with like my family I notice it. It's not like nothing's like a big deal anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of just like work on tolerance on your body, and then like slowly it just kind of like catapults into other
Yeah.
things in your life. Yeah.
So what made you want to do this now?
Hmm.
Because
Uh,
it seems like a big thing of like, those 10 days is actually many days,
Yeah.
right? And being silent, and then it kind of in a way did change your life. Like, what made you want to do this now?
um, honestly, it's a really stupid reason for me, but I don't like going to the city. So for me, going to the city is like an hour and a half. I have to like basically spend the whole day there because it takes so long. It's so
Mm.
stressful to drive there.
Hmm.
This was one of the first things I saw that's a fun thing that you can do or something you can explore that's actually closer to me and it's like
Hmm.
40 minutes the
Okay.
other way. So I was like, why not? I had applied and I've heard that it is very competitive to get into. So the fact that I
Oh,
got
Oh.
in, like people apply like 3 or 4 months in advance.
wow.
I applied 2 months in advance. I got in. It's 45 minutes from me. Like, worst comes to worst, I drive back home the next day.
Yeah.
So I applied and I got in. So I was like, that's a sign
Mm.
for me to try it out. And again, worst comes to worst, I come home, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I did it. And I don't know any other, like, there was no, like, I wasn't looking for something big. I wasn't trying to change myself. I just wanted a new experience, and that's what I got.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is so awesome. Because, I feel like a lot of people would do this because it is like, I need to change my life. I need to feel something different.
Yeah.
So I really, and I think that if you went with that thinking, you would have had a totally different experience maybe.
Exactly.
But I like how you went with just like, I just want to do something in my city that's not in the city. It's like, but here. And, you you're better for it. And that's amazing. Like, that's so cool. I need the details for this because, whoa.
I know, it actually sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely like challenging, but wow.
Yes, it sounds very challenging.
And it's like, we're young. That's one thing as well. Like, we're young. We don't have as many responsibilities. Like, you don't have a mortgage. You don't have kids. You can go right now. So why not take advantage? Like, we have understanding.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So, like, why not do that? And then you learn a skill that, like, you can just use anywhere in life, right?
100%.
Why not?
And it's such a good, like, I feel like this is the time to, like, really take care of your mind and body, better yourself, and, like, prepare yourself for, like, your 30s and 40s, Like, we are young, we don't have responsibilities, and we might as well just, like, go for it.
Yeah, become your best self. Like, I love that,
Yeah.
Doing the things that you
And
want
the
to
best part is it's actually free.
Oh, wow.
Shut up.
That's amazing.
I was scared to ask, like, I bet it was so expensive.
No, it was free.
Dang, wow.
And then another thing, I was like, I got in, like, it's free. Like, what am I losing here? Everything
You were totally meant to do that.
Yeah, so.
Did you get, like, weird vibes, though? Because I'm just thinking, like, retreat. Like, I'm thinking they're, like, drugging you guys, making you, like, see life, like.
White Lotus, or what's that show?
The 9 Perfect Strangers. Have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
Oh my god. Watch that, because that's, like, they go on a retreat, but they drug them and they don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It sounded too good to be true. It did.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was like telling my partner, I'm like, if I come back as a different person, like, please don't hate me. Like, I'll try not to be manipulated. Like, I promise.
Yeah.
Because we're both big skeptics. Like, I'm not like a spiritual person. Like, I'm not like a
overly spiritual person.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not relying on something outwardly to lead my life.
Yeah.
I'm still like a skeptic. I believe in science. Like, it's like, not like 100%. This is my So
going with the flow.
Yeah. And he's a big skeptic too. So we were both just like, okay, like, be careful and be just
well, it's nice that he supported you.
Yeah, that's so great to hear, honestly.
My family as well, like, they were all really supportive, but like my grandma was like, just maybe leave your gold at home. So she was like, yeah, just maybe leave your rings and stuff at home. I was like, all right, no problem.
So funny, I love that. That's such a grandma thing to say.
Yeah. She's like, you never know. I'm like, all right, we'll leave that at home. But
that's just so amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
As a young South Asian woman, like, going to the woods by yourself for 10 days without your phone is like it's a big thing, and like leaving your family, having their like good blessing even, like that's so amazing to hear, because it can be like, I feel like a lot of girls and women, like, we want to do those things for ourselves, but sometimes like there's a lot of factors kind of like putting the guilt on and why you shouldn't do it. So it's great to see somebody like living that.
Yeah. And I mean, same with me. My parents were traveling. My grandma was here, my brother was here, and like I was like, maybe I shouldn't go because I have to make food for them and I have to make sure the house is clean because nobody else is home. I don't want my grandma doing all the work because my brother was doing his like final exams for high school. So I was like, until the last moment, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go. And mom kept calling me and she's like, you're going. Like, it's fine.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like, we'll figure it out. Like, everybody will figure it out. Yeah. And they did. They figured it out and they were fine. And it was nice to come back. And I think for me, it was more empowering to see people in my life be like, oh, actually, I want to go now. Like, I love how you are now. And like, I want to go try this out. So that was like, even for me, that was like even more cool. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yes. So tell me about like when you got your phone back, what was that feeling like? Even shit, I got this little rectangle back.
I actually didn't want it back. I looked at okay, this is so funny. So on the last day they let you talk. So they do a meditation and then you're allowed to start talking. So
Yeah.
just that like is really overwhelming because you're so sensitive to everything, like right? Because you're talking and you're just focused on your breath and like just little like nuances around you. So just talking overwhelmed me and I just went and sat back and started meditating and they're like no like you have to get up and like go to this like dining hall and
Time to go.
yeah they're like giving out your phones and stuff so I walk in and like we had like indoor slippers and outdoor slippers. You're like supposed to leave the outdoor slippers outside and then put on your indoor slippers and then walk in. And I was so flustered. I like walked in with my outdoor slippers. I like was tripping on people. I had tea in my hands, like slipping everywhere or spilling everywhere. And then she's like, "What's your number?" Because then you have to like find your number and then they give you your little baggie with
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't want it. Like, can I get it tomorrow?
Wow.
They're like, yes, you can, but it's like we recommend getting it now. And I was like, no, I'll get it tomorrow. So I like waited,
Wow.
got it the next day. And even the next day, like I didn't really turn it on until like I had to call my dad to be like, are you here yet to pick me up?
Yeah.
Couldn't look at it. All day I came back, I didn't look at it. So it took me about 2.5 days to like actually like go through and
Wow.
look at my emails and just kind of get back to reality.
Yeah.
Still working on it, and like all my work is social media. Like all of my work is social media.
Yeah.
Phones. So I'm like, how is this going? Like it's been a slow transition, but I feel like I'm just more mindful about it. I don't scroll as much.
Yeah.
I do whatever needs to be done. Like
Yeah.
all my responses are sent out, all my inquiries are answered, clients know what's up. But like anything external is just like it's on hold right now.
Yeah.
Taking that fluff out.
That's good though, because I think also like if your career is social media and on your phone a lot, it's so easy to I'm gonna post something and then scroll for 20 minutes because I do that all the time,
All the time.
all the
I
time, and that's
do.
sometimes why I don't even post because I'm like I'm on my phone and I get so confused and I'm just like I'm like managing 5 accounts and I'm like on all of them at the same
Yeah.
time. It's too much. So I think it's really good that this helps you kind of find that balance because we need that or else we're just sucked into this online world so much.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Because I'm like, and this is advice I'd give my clients too, because it's like the more you're consuming, the more you're just scrolling and comparing and feeling like you're not good enough, the less you're actually giving yourself a chance to like get in a zone where you can come up with really good ideas
Yeah.
that speak to other people. And it's just like a toxic cycle that the algorithm has built for so many people, so many
So
businesses.
much.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, Sush, I feel that because sometimes it's like if you post a video, your video doesn't get views, then you see someone else who kind of looks like you posting the same video with millions of views, and you're just like,
What?
it puts you down. And then for 3 days you're not posting, and then you kind of lost your rhythm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like you're right. It's like this cycle that it's like you want to remove yourself from it, but it's so tough, you know?
So tough. And like some people also go the other way where they're posting all the time trying to get the same results that other people. Or like, let's say one of their videos goes viral, they want that again. They want that hit of dopamine again. So they're just posting. Like
Yes.
their time is just like posting like surface level content trying to get the same like attention or validation again.
Yeah.
Right? But then it's like you're not really taking a step back, turning inwards and like letting the wisdom within you kind of speak and help you out. There's so much of that. There's so much within us that like is actually like it just knows what we need. It knows what we're here to do. We don't realistically like need to go to school or realistically need to get all the certifications that we think we need to make the impact in the world that we're trying to make, right?
So true.
Yeah, that was beautifully said.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you're in it, sometimes you feel like that's the only, like, this is the world now, and you have to adapt to this world and, like, be what this is asking you to be. But it's good to know, like, it's good to hear that, like, there's also other things. There's other ways of being.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they can be better.
That's why so many people love podcasts because they're so, like, dynamic. It's so versatile. It can go any way, right? There's no restrictions. With social media, there are restrictions. Like, what if something that I'm trying to tell you can't fit in a 90-second video?
Yes.
It's not a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big box or a little box that you're, like, constantly fitting in.
Yeah. You have to make yourself smaller. Because also, like, even for myself, I recorded a video yesterday, and it was about this dating story that I had. But I literally had to, like, make sure I had a keywords to catch people's attention. And, you know, I had to have different angles. And I had to tell my story in a funny way to make sure people engage. But, like, if I was talking about it on the podcast, I would just say the story. I wouldn't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you're kind of performing in a way.
Yes.
To make sure people... And it's so, like... It sucks because, like, you even see the videos where, like, you know those videos where the girls are like, no one cares about your story time. Like, you need to do this and this to actually get views. And it's just like, fuck, because I just want to tell my story.
Just a girl.
I'm just a girl trying to tell a story. It's so... It's competitive out there.
It is.
Right?
No, totally.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's, like, so important to cultivate community, which I know you guys are also working on as well. Like, it's so important to have spaces where it's like you can just have that one-on-one conversation. You can, like, not just tell your story, but also hear somebody else's and, like, relate and just, you know, have that support that, like, you don't usually get when you are posting that story time. Usually you get a lot of criticism.
Yes.
The comments aren't even about the story time. They're like, oh, your hair looks funny. Like, that's not why I posted this.
Yeah. Like, I didn't ask your opinion on my hair. Give me a reply to my story.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like there's so many factors actually, and the way that, like, you open yourself up to that. It's like it's a lot for the mind, the brain to take in and just be okay all the time. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of like on that note, what as a person who has an online presence and a, like, online front facing account, like, how do you find setting boundaries with yourself to, like, not overshare or, like, kind of keep that relationship healthy?
This is something I was already kind of working on. Like, my partner isn't really online, and so that part of my life I don't really care to share online, which is completely okay. And that actually makes it easier for me to only talk about my business or share a little picture of my coffee because I love my coffee or my matcha every day. So it just allows me to speak to people at a more, like, professional level. Like, the content I share is just around all of that. It's not really sharing my life.
Yeah.
When I want to. Like, my brother was a valedictorian. I was really proud. So I'm like, that's going on. Like, everybody's doing that, right?
Yeah.
But that's just because I chose that, right? So I always ask myself, does this need the attention? Do I care if it gets the attention? Do I want it to get attention? For my brother getting valedictorian, I did. I'll be so honest. And that is okay to admit. I think that's where people get, like, scared. They're like, oh no, then I look like a bad person. But it's like, if you want clout, just say you want clout. There's nothing wrong with that. Just own it.
Just own it.
Yes, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah, why is it it's so funny because it's, like, literally, like, our whole world and all these values are, like, pushing for that so much. So it is, you want to, like, I don't know, things are just so like, opposite.
It's like everyone, okay, like, if you're making an online presence, everyone knows what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's weird how, like, we're still judging each other so much. Who cares? Like, if you see a girl that looks like you trying to make it, support her.
Support her.
And if you want to do it, then do it. Do it yourself. No one told you not to do it.
Yes.
Only you can tell yourself that you shouldn't do it. Like, literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can just do whatever you want.
It's like realizing it's literally the internet is infinite and there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like how we want to show up is okay. Because you can do whatever literally you want. I think that's really, like, it's something you really have to get in your mind.
Yeah. I think like, we judge ourselves more than other people judge us. Like,
totally.
Yes.
We'll be posting something and it's like, oh, they're gonna think this, or, you know, the keyword's missing, or there's not a hook, or the lighting looks off. But it's like, nobody really cares. Like, if you look at, like, the stuff that goes viral, or the stuff that, like, people really, really relate to, it's not stuff that's, like, highly curated.
Yeah.
So why even, like, spend the energy and time focusing on those things?
Yes, that's so true.
Yeah. I feel like as South Asian women, like, this is a huge thing because we're, like, being raised, we're not encouraged to self-express. So it's like a new territory we're all kind of figuring out because we are really like, we're taught with rules how you should show up.
Yeah.
This way, this way, this way.
So no, that's so true.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of South Asian girls as well, it's like, for some it's even deeper than that. Because I think for some people, as you're raised and then your society and your environment impacts you and you can get out of what your family taught you. And you can realize, okay, they're my family, but they're not always right. But I think for some people, they don't get out of that mindset, and that kind of creates like that catty energy and like that ongoing trend of how like like hating aunties and stuff. That like that thing. It's like that doesn't even have to be a thing. It's like we're literally making that. We're actively creating that for ourselves. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's so true. And like
A lot of unlearning to do.
of course, right? But it's also like we also set the standard. So how we set the boundaries or how we tell people actually that's not correct. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And this is why you shouldn't do that because we didn't get the explanations growing up.
Yeah.
We're just told this is how it is, do it. There's and if you
Literally.
ask why you get a little slap on the hand, like how dare you ask, right?
Yes.
So, like just going out of our way to first set the boundary and then also explain it to the other person. That's like empowering enough for them to be able to do that to another person and to another person and just like be able to take care of yourself and make sure your cup is full. Because we give so much as like South Asian women, right? Or just like I don't know if you are the eldest or just a woman in a brown family.
Yes.
Not easy.
Not at all.
You're just taught to give, and you're validated when you are giving.
Yes.
So it's not okay to just always do that, right? And like, I love that you guys travel together. I love that you guys are able to just like go off and do your own thing because so many women aren't able to do that.
100%. I think having a good support network is so important because that actually happens with us all the time where like we have to physically be like, no, I validate you. Like you're not only valid for being that way, you're also valid in this way. And it's like we're still like we're gonna be 25 this year and we're still stuck in that cycle. We're still trying to unlearn all those habits. Like it doesn't happen overnight, right? It's actually it's a struggle. It's a true struggle. And it's like even with all our friends, like we see this all the time. You know, and it's just like it's a lot.
Is so foreign.
It is.
Yeah. It does take time. It takes a lot of times of it happening to get used to it.
Because it's like a habit, right? It's like how you react, how you respond is a habit. So it takes time to kind of like change the baseline. But one of the things like that, and this is not something I've read, like this is just like how I view my own personal experiences. But I don't know if you like learned equilibrium in high school. Did you learn about equilibrium at all?
Kind of.
Yes, but I have no idea. But
So
go, tell us about it.
The body in biology, they taught us like the body's always trying to make sure that like there's equilibrium in your body. So if you're in a cold spot, it's gonna do things to make sure you're warmer. So you're gonna start shivering, right?
Okay.
Or if you're in a hot spot, it's gonna make sure that you're cold inside, so it's gonna start making you sweat. So equilibrium. And I feel like that's how life is as well. Like there's always gonna be ups and downs. There's always gonna be something that comes up, or there's gonna be someone calling you out and saying something that you don't agree with. You're gonna have to set a boundary. It's just like slowly just coming back to like that baseline.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the more like it doesn't get like higher. It just like closer to the baseline. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it
totally
does. Yeah.
That was a great example used.
But I feel like that's how it is, right?
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it seems like you have a lot of good experience, like being a brand manager and like really like the behind of what it is, like the values that kind of drive it. But how did you originally like decide to pursue this career choice?
It was also on a whim.
Love that.
As type A as I am, a lot of my stories start with it was on a whim. I launched my first business. It was a food business. I launched with one of my roommates in university.
Cool.
And we ended up getting funded from the university, which was really cool.
Cool.
But it was like in the midst of COVID, so we did everything ourselves. Like all the marketing was done by us, all the preparation and retail and reaching out to the retailers, like everything that you can think of was like the production of it all, the branding of it all. So I just got like first-hand experience of like what each part of business looks like, everything, operations to customer service, marketing. So that stuff was going really well. And then when I graduated, I decided to not continue my education as of now and just like take a little bit of time and focus on the business. And that slowly turned into me also helping other business owners with their marketing and branding and social media. and we actually ended up not continuing the first business just because we fell in love with like other parts of um, business and things like that. Like I
Yeah.
was a science student, like I studied kinesiology, I was a personal trainer. So going into the business world, like I was so excited. So
Yeah.
took a little bit of a break from that and started working with small businesses and entrepreneurs and creatives, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Cool.
That's so
Awesome.
cool. Yeah. Did you find it like, anytime you start any business, it's obviously tough at the start. Like, what would you say were your biggest challenges?
I think the biggest challenge is just like trusting in yourself in the process.
Mm.
Mm,
I don't think anything else is harder than just like knowing that it will turn out okay.
yeah.
And that's why so many people say like the entrepreneurial journey is like the best journey you can kind of walk on because it's so yours. It's such a like unique path, and you don't just like launch a business. You learn how to have better coping mechanisms, how to be more organized, how to have better conversations. Like there's so much that goes into becoming a business owner, right? So it was just, I think, like for me, like there was a lot of identity issues.
Yeah.
Like, am I good enough? Will people take me seriously? And then all the work I did was on social media, so like it was even more amplified. So you're just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all the
That's
time
real.
doubting, all the time looking at the metrics. So I had to
Yeah.
unlearn a lot of it first, so I could also teach other people to unlearn it too, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of my clients would come to me and they'd be like, "Yeah, like I'm posting this content," and I'm like, "This is great content," and then they're like, "Yeah, but I'm not getting any engagement." I'm like, "Yes, you are. You
Mm.
have like 4 people DMing you. You know how wonderful that is. Like, okay, you got 20 likes, but you have 4 people out of 20. Like,
4 is a lot in the
Yeah.
that's
DM.
amazing.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Amazing. So don't try to chase like the metrics and don't try to chase like what other people are saying success is. Um, because that's not really true. And like that's something that I had to deal with the first 2 years
Mm-hmm.
and learn. And then now I'm trying to like help other people with that as well,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't mean that it doesn't
That's
always come
huge.
up. Doesn't it always comes up for me as well. It's the same like equilibrium. Like I have to come back to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it is getting better just because I have like a better understanding around the
Yeah.
system. Yeah.
Well, like that you said that as well, that it does come back for you, because I find that sometimes for myself, like you kind of look at others and you're like, they don't care, like they're fine with it. Why am I so worked up about it? But I think it's like you have to remember, social media, it's not real. It's someone's legit having a persona online,
Yeah.
and it's just like they could literally be in anxiety, freaking out over their views and engagement after they post.
Yeah.
So we can't we have to just always know, like, it's just a cycle. It'll happen sometimes. You'll never perfectly be over it.
Yeah.
So don't strive to get over it. Just kind of strive to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, exactly. And like people want you to see what they want you to see. Like you see
Mhm.
what they want you to see, right? So always remember that. So
Yeah.
all the great stuff you're seeing and you're feeling bad about yourself or your business or your engagement, whatever it might be, like it's because people want to flex that.
Yeah.
And same with you. You're obviously not gonna keep the posts up for like 2, 3 years, the ones that didn't do well. You're not gonna do
Yeah.
that. As a
Yeah.
business, like everybody's like that. So just like be aware, right? Like be
Mhm.
aware of how humans work and how we do want to flex and we do want to show like, look, I'm better than you, or look, I'm having so much fun, or look how successful
Mhm.
I am. Because that's what it is.
Yes.
Just being real about it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
there's so much growth in that, even just like, you know, the experience that you described, like going from your university time to now, like that's so much growth.
Yes.
Learning to like when to let certain things go, when to like jump on new opportunities.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
lot, but it's also not something I can like post about. Like,
Mm.
again, we can have that conversation. I can share, and there's still so much that like I haven't shared here because like that's my experience, right? If it comes up, we talk about it. I can't put that in like a 90-second video and expect
Mm.
people to just understand and know me as that. So how
Yes.
is that working for everybody else, right?
100%.
It's
Yeah.
like a deeper inner process going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's good to know for everybody that looks different, but everybody is doing something inside, having that inner world.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Love that.
I think I want to ask you a little bit more, like circling back to like being online and like, it's receiving hate, it's a normal thing that happens to everyone. But what would you say, like, what have been your experiences with that? How have you, like, you kind of dealt with it? You know, I think for a lot of people, like, they refrain from posting on social media because of maybe like old high school friends or like people in their life. They're like, I don't want them to know I did this.
Yeah.
So did you have that feeling? How did you kind of deal with that?
I did. Definitely did. I think the first 2 years of the business, first year and a half of the business, I was really struggling with that because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like I post, nobody really engages, but I know a lot of people can see this. And it's like, with the stories, you can see who's really looking, who's lurking. And it's just, even if you say you don't care, it is in your head. It is, right? And that's actually one of the things that I dealt with even when I was away for the meditation course, because I, like, something would come up, like I would feel this like anger towards this person because they said like I'm not good enough or I'm this or I'm that, and I'm like, I cannot even remember this person's name, but how are their words still, like, how am I still holding on to that?
Yes, girl.
Sister. We all do that. Like, we all hold on to like all these opinions and things like that, and like again, it came up even after what I'm about to tell you, right? Like, that was like a year and a half ago, what I did. So I'll tell you that. But even after a year and a half ago, whatever I did, like, dealt with it, and it still came up for me when I was like sitting down and just like looking at myself. So not to say that like it was like 100% better solution, but it's like it's something that you slowly work on because we care as humans. You care about what you're, who you are, how you're seen, um, how you're valued. So of course, but I always felt like people were lurking. So I actually ended up removing a lot of people from my social media, even people like I went to high school with, because like I said, like I looked at it practically. I was like, I'm not really sharing my personal life on here. I want to work with people who care about what I have to say. One, are engaging with my content. Two, and it's like there is a potential to like work together or support each other or, you know, work like on their business. So it's, I want this to be like something that I'm happy about, like showing up on, right? I don't want to think about those opinions. So I actually ended up removing so many people because I just felt like if you're not adding to my life and I'm not adding to yours clearly, then like what's the point? And it's like, if there's an issue and if we are close enough, and I did that, reach out to me. But nobody reached out, and there were no hard feelings. And even if there were, it's not on me. It's not my problem.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
Yeah, so that's what I did. And I tell a lot of people to do that. And a lot of people do it, but a lot of people also don't do it because it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. So when you started your business account, did you start it off your personal, you switched it, or did you make a whole new account?
So I had a personal account, and I think it might still exist, but I started a business account, I think in 2019 maybe, because I was a personal trainer, so I was sharing a lot about that.
Yeah.
And then I switched the personal training account to what it is today.
Okay.
All right, nice. Yeah. I love that because it's like, you know, you can really take control of your world and shape it to what you want to, your environment to like how you want it to be as much as you can. Like a lot of things like we can't control, but there's some things we can control.
Yes.
And it's like, just do it. Just make yourself happy and more comfortable. Like, why are we enduring this uncomfortability?
100%.
Like you said, for like, who's really getting anything out of that?
Yeah, you're just making yourself more miserable, right? So.
Yeah. And you found people now that you like align with more and more.
Yeah, you built that community for yourself.
Yeah.
You know? It's honestly inspiring because I'm at a point where I'm like, I want to make a public account and like, you know, post more of like the things I'm interested in, but I'm like, the feeling of being public, like obviously we have Rotten Bananas, that's different because we're posting about our travel and what we want to post, right? But it's like my personal, it's like that's private, and I like to be very, very private in it. So it's just like the thought of like, even if I have 10 followers, 50,000 people could be looking at my account right now, and I would never know. And it's so like it feels so icky.
Of course.
You know, but I don't know.
Normal. That's so normal.
Yeah, but I just like I want to not feel that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, can I like how do I get out of the mindset of like we're so like you know, like the people, how people perceive us, it's such an obsession sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you just want to like not care. But then you're like, I think also as a brown woman, as a South Asian woman, you're kind of like, what's my family gonna think if I'm doing this? Like, did you have those feelings as well of like, oh my god, social media? I mean, honestly, your family seems very supportive, but like, did you have that at all?
Yeah, I definitely did. I still do.
Yeah.
But um, it's tricky. Like, I think for me personally, and I'm sure you could probably relate to it, there's like I feel like, okay, I want to be the representation, if not like be the like just embody the representation that I didn't have, right? Because yes, there were still a lot of brown people growing up, which is awesome, but it's like
Yep.
still, like there's still so much more representation that's lacking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had that like always back of my head, like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is why I have to post content because that's the best way right now to be able to like show up and to be able to express yourself and share your story. I always felt that, but then the other side is like my family watching me like create a video and being like, "You just graduated university, like go get a job. Like what are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, well.
What is this, right?" So it's like they didn't understand it at first. Like now they're okay, like 3 years in, they kind of get it.
Yeah.
They've obviously seen like the financial gains of it as well, so they're like, okay, like we can get like on board with this. Sure.
Yeah.
But at first, like they were just like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like this is not a job." So of course, like I faced a lot of that, and then that also fueled me to keep going because I was like, I have to not just be good at it, I have to be successful at it because I need to prove myself. I need to prove them
Yes.
that this is lucrative and this is something that's working and it's something that is allowing me to like live in my purpose, right? So for me, that turned into like me getting burnt out, getting my white hair at 24, 23, 22,
Girl.
losing a lot of sleep. So I was like overworking myself because I just wanted that validation from my family and my loved ones,
Yes.
right? Um, but I had to set boundaries like I did. So I had to get really real on like what I want to share, what I don't want to share, what I feel
Yeah.
comfortable about sharing, what I don't feel comfortable about sharing. And that changes every day. And
Yeah.
that's okay, right? Because if you just set these rules and you're like, that's how I'm going to be all the time and I'm going to post all the time and um, I'm not going to talk about this aspect of my life, okay, fine. But it's like maybe 3 months down the line, everything changes.
Yes.
And then you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't be myself. And I feel like my life is like flow online. So just remind yourself every day, like, I'm just going to share what I feel okay with today. Right? And whoever sees it is just going to have to learn to be okay with it because it's just who I am. Right. And I know that sounds so preachy. And that's like the worst part
No,
of it
I
all.
love
Yeah.
that. No, I legit, you are speaking into my soul. Like, I love that because you have to take it day by day. You can't, like, you can't set so many expectations on yourself for months in advance, especially if you're the brand.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the brand is a physical human being. It's me. I can't put so many expectations on this, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, we're women. Like, we
Yeah.
are going through a cycle. Like,
Yes.
every single day is different. Your mood every single day is different. How you see yourself in the mirror is so different every single day. And if you don't feel good one day or you feel high energy one day, like lean into that. And I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing we need to learn instead of like learning to post consistently and like share a story every 2 hours. Like that's you're kind of like taking away your power by doing that in a way.
Yes. So true.
That was super valuable.
Thanks for sharing about that. Yeah.
Yes. Ah, amazing.
Well, I think okay. To wrap this up. What about Give us one piece of advice you would give to someone out there who's maybe trying to start social media, like for themselves, or they're trying to start a brand. Like, what would you say?
We got a lot of good nuggets.
Yeah,
already,
you already
but...
gave so much amazing advice. Like, wow, everyone
Truly.
bookmark this episode and watch it when you're feeling down.
Yes.
I would say like don't try to copy somebody else. And like that's the first thing we do when we don't know anything.
Yeah.
But just like trust yourself. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this like advice always sounds so preachy, but like trust yourself. Like you are good enough. Like you have value. If you didn't have value, you wouldn't have the desire to show up. right? Like people who are accountants, like they know they have value to be an accountant, so they have the
Yeah.
desire to be an accountant. Same with
Wait, I love that.
That's a really good way of thinking.
Because
you.
you're right. Because you know what? There's people in the world who don't give a shit about social media. Like, let's say, for example, your partner. He doesn't use social media because he doesn't care.
Yes.
But you knew, you're like, I have a desire for this. Like, I know I could do it. And you did it. So we always do say that. We're like, we want this because our future selves have it and we know we can do it.
Exactly.
So that's why we're so driven for it. And some people just don't care.
Yeah. It's like if we were to become accountants right now, we would not. Well, what value can we give somebody?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. But yeah, don't try to like replicate other people's like path of success, because social media and like posting content is very, very much like entrepreneurship. It is your own journey. It is like owning yourself and learning and just getting more organized and giving yourself space and time to be able to like come up with different ideas and things like that. So like allow yourself the space to do that.
Yeah.
In a way, and take inspiration from different places. Like try the things that people are talking about, but also like be okay with letting those things go, because not everything is right for you. Not every single advice you see online is for you. Maybe what I'm saying right now is not for you, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Right? Do whatever works for you.
Yes.
100%.
Love that.
Oh my God, Sush, I loved our conversation. It was just, I feel like you have so much wisdom and knowledge, and it was beautiful talking to you. And I can just like see why you are like successful and you're so in your business, because you're so confident, and I love it and I appreciate that.
Thank you, ladies. You two are so, so awesome. I love your energy as well. Like,
Thank
you're
you.
so smiley, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. It's so nice to just like have genuine conversations with people who get it, because there's a lot of people who are just like walking around with like blinders on. So it's really, really nice to have real talk. Yeah.
Yes, this was so nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So tell everyone where they can find you after this.
Yeah, it's Sucheta Corona on Instagram and TikTok. And my email, if you do want to reach out to me personally, it's sucheta.corona@gmail.com.
Probably be the best thing you guys do for yourselves.
Reach out to her, everybody.
Yeah, we'll definitely link that in the episode bio.
Yeah, well, it was so nice talking to you. Literally love this.
Yes, truly.
And yeah, I hope we can talk soon and meet soon, since we are in different provinces, but hopefully we get to meet soon.
It was great.
You would honestly love it here, because you're not a city girl. You would literally love it here, in the nature and just all the time in the mountains. I could just see you hiking around Vancouver and stuff.
My brother's actually moving to BC for school, so I'll be there all the time now.
Yes. I love
We'll
that.
definitely plan something. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, great.
Awesome.
Well, it was great talking to you.
You as well. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
All right, have a good one.